can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time for the truth. Right here, right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
The latter-day prophet. Baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers.
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your hosts on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
And how are we doing out there all across this great land of ours and around the world? That time, once again, for the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, and we are glad you took the time to join us once again here as we come up on the Christmas holidays, close to the Christmas holidays. I don't know how things are going out there in your neck of the woods in terms of shopping and all that other good stuff. I learned a long time ago a real good trick. All the kids get cash, and that way we don't have to worry about size problems or getting the wrong gift. Everybody loves cash, and so that's what we do. It makes our Christmas shopping real easy, and we're just glad to have you with us today. Hope things are going good. Could be worse, but certainly looks like it's getting a whole lot better in terms of what the Trump administration is doing at this point in time, what they plan to do. Some of their picks out there are surprised. I was really kind of surprised, really, that the National Review actually still recognizes conservatism when they see it. It's amazing. I was just reading, just before it came on the air today, that they're surprised at how conservative Trump is actually acting in his appointments and stuff like that. So I'm surprised anybody over there still recognizes what it is. With people like Jonah Goldberg and George Will and all the other clowns, the no-Trumpers, that kind of thing. So anyway, having said that, let me get my partner in crime on here, Joe Hakos. How are you doing today? Well, I know Joe's still fighting off a cold, so I don't know if that's kind of a baited question. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Hey, you know what? I really do thank you for listening, because we could do the show without anybody listening, but it just wouldn't be as near as fun or worthwhile. So thanks for everybody being on.
I'm sorry?
I said just thanking everybody for being out there, because we could do the show without anybody out there, but then it just wouldn't be near as fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're glad to have you. We're really expecting some good numbers this year. We hit well over 2 million last year. We've added 2 affiliates this year, so I don't know what the numbers are going to come out to, but we're certainly happy that there are so many people that catch our show. And,
hey, let me ask you a question, John. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
We had the Brexit, and then we had the Italians just vote to try to leave the European Union. What about California? This Cal exit, man. Tell me about it. Say it's not so. Say it's actually going to happen, John. Please go ahead, leave the United States. Is that going to happen?
Oh, the thing that's confusing about this, from what I can see so far, is that I'm not sure who wants it. I'm not sure if it's the leftists wanting to go full bore socialist republic, or if it's the fragment or a fragment of conservatives that want to pull out from under the regime, the moonbeam regime out here. What I'm guessing though is, I'm at this point in time, it's really hard to identify who the players are. When the topic came up a couple years ago, it was definitely people on the right that wanted to pull out, and because most of the states or the counties that we're talking about most of the counties were down here in the South. Some of the more conservative districts and stuff like that. It was down in towards the desert area, just north of San Diego. Kind of eastbound in Barstow and places like that. And then up north, you've got little fractions of conservative outlets out there, but most of it is being, overrun and overruled by the Berkeley crowd.
Yeah.
And so I'm not really sure here, but this surfaces, though, every couple of years.
Well, I'd just be curious if if that was to happen and you left the Union and you became your own little nation, would you guys put up a border fence?
Oh yeah, they did, because they definitely would want to keep conservatives out. Because I do believe.
Don't worry, John. It won't take long. The rest of us on the outside will just wait for it to collapse, and we'll come over and we'll hook it back up again. And after these people die off,
I've always looked at it. I've kind of viewed it like this: if that were to occur, I'm sure, just God having the sense of humor that He has. The San Andreas Fault would definitely separate us from the rest of the world. Of course, my wife and I would be making a mass exodus out of the state if it is the socialists that want to do this. I'm still, we're still talking about how we can get out of the state now before this even happens. But what they were trying to do before was they wanted like a northern and a southern California.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. SoCal and
but now they want a complete
South
separate
Carolina. Yeah.
Complete separate nation, if you want to put it that way. And of course, that isn't going to happen. But
it's not, because let's face it, you guys still need all those tax dollars to pay for all this stuff. You need just working people to do it.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for California, Hillary wouldn't have won the popular vote. So, they're not going to let California go away, because then it would really expose them not only to the Electoral College, but they wouldn't stand a chance with the popular vote either. So, even the fact that we only have about less than a third of the country. Oh, let's see. 14 million votes cast in this last election. I don't know how many of them were legal or illegal, but we have a state of about 33 million people. So if we were just to play, give everybody the benefit of the doubt, less than half of our state is registered to vote. So, it is what it is. But I know. I can just see the San Andreas Fault, just erupting, and we do become beachfront property over on the Nevada side.
Not that far, but yeah, from basically Fresno west is ocean.
Yeah, but it would be interesting because I don't know. I just know California just is really a messed up state now, and that's the way the Democrats like it. They
want chaos, because with chaos, hey, they get to do whatever they want.
Yeah, well, that's the plan. That's the plan. With chaos, look
at all this order that we've had throughout the nation this past year and a half. Really ratcheted up the past year and a half. All this chaos in the streets and everything. I think that's hopefully soon to come to an end.
Well, it is, because democracy, that's what they're looking for. They want democracy. Democracy is what? Rule by the mob. That's what
chaos.
Want.
It's straight up chaos.
Yeah, and you pander to you pander to the squeaky wheel, and that's always the minority. And then everybody else in the majority just goes along with it because they're too irritated, or they're too weary, or they just don't give a damn. And that really kind of epitomizes what we look at in terms of our republic today, is that the people that are really reasonable and really out there and understand what's going on are the people that just kind of lay off on the sidelines and say, it's just politics too dirty, it's too nasty, it's too it's too upsetting, and so I'll just sit here and work my 8 to 5 and just hope that they leave me alone.
Yeah, but they don't understand it. They're not going to leave you alone. Eventually, they're going to be on your front door as they're kicking in your back door. Yeah, and eventually you're going to go show up to work one day and find out that everybody's on minimum wage, and you're not going to be able to do a damn thing about it. So we'll raise every minimum wage for $15, and that's also the ceiling as what anybody can earn. The government regulated wages, that always works out well. Yeah. Hello, Venezuela. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. I it's just one of those things out here that everybody likes to talk about, but I don't think anybody's really got the gumption to go through with it. No, of course not. It takes effort. And like with Mr. Jonathan Dunn over there in Ireland. It takes effort to be a free people.
Yes, it does. It does. And, people out here in California and many other parts of the nation just don't want to make that effort. They're willing to give up their security or their freedom in return for some false sense of security. And as Benjamin Franklin said, what? You deserve neither freedom or security if you're willing.
And that's what he's needed to add on to that, and that's what you'll get. Neither.
Yeah. So anyway, hey, we're gonna take on this fake news allegations of the Russian hacking and all this other stuff because some things took place over the weekend that I think is we warned and we've been talking about the fact that this is going to be the narrative, at least for the time being, quite a while. And it feeds into a lot of other things in my mind. Of course, the primary thing is the delegitimizing of the Trump victory in November. But there's other aspects of this because the left never goes after an issue with such fervor unless they've got something else planned, something else that you're not quite seeing right now, but we've already seen. You never let a good crisis go to waste. And the election of Donald Trump is definitely a crisis to the leftists and the establishments on both sides of the political asylum out there. So we're going to talk about that today and may talk about it most of the week. And we've got Bob Cardoso coming up at the bottom of the hour. We'll see what he's been watching in regards to this. But Joe and I are going to handle the load today for the most part and just kind of throw some things at you, food for thought kind of stuff. If the leftists keep having their way, that may be the only thing you get to eat is ideology. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. We'll be back in just a moment.
A healthy attitude toward politics will always be relentlessly cynical. TheConservativeSyndicate.net, doing our part to keep America healthy.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Attention taxpayers. If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
Get your panties all in a bunch.
The Conservative Syndicate.net, exposing weapons of mass distraction. All right, hey, we're back, and this is the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, and I want to kind of dive into this thing with the allegations that Russia is hacking us or has hacked us.
So right there is some mass distraction right there.
Yeah, weapons of mass distraction as we refer to things like this on the show here at the Conservative Syndicate. And I my gut check is I guess I'm to a point right now in my understanding of liberal politics that as soon as something is being floated as an issue or a crisis, something that is necessary to be addressed and immediately, as soon as that, the red flags just go up for me all over the place.
Yeah.
And I just start thinking, okay, what is really behind what is going on? I don't take anything at face value anymore from either side, really. I even start to some degree now when Republicans talk about things. I'm kind of like, well, what are they really looking at here? What are they really trying to do here? And with the Democrats, it's always a combination of things, advancing and repackaging. You advance by repackaging.
Yeah, you got when it's found out when the commoners, the little people, find out that what you're trying to do is evil, then we have to rebrand it into something else.
Yeah.
That's what we have to do. We have to call it something else. We can't call, we're going to call it progressivism, and then, we can't call it liberalism. We can't call it, we'll call it something else. We'll call it ice creamism or something.
Yeah.
It's so sweet and innocent, but it really wants to stab you in the back and eat your children.
Well, like for instance, when the fervor started up, when Bernie Sanders launched his campaign, and Debbie Wasserman Schultz had to explain or tried to explain or refused to explain in most cases what democratic socialism was. She didn't want to come out and say, well, this is really, Bernie Sanders really represents what we really believe. But we can't allow that because that would just be too ostentatious. That would be too out there. It would be too upfront.
Yes, it would be too close to the truth, and we can't do that.
Yeah, so, they went about trying to, and successfully circumvented his campaign through the superdelegates, which at least Wasserman Schultz admitted was for the purpose of making sure somebody like Bernie Sanders never really got nominated, never really had a chance to be nominated.
And they never denied that was true.
Yeah, exactly. So
they denied that they didn't like the source.
Uh-huh.
But they never denied that it was true.
Right, exactly. So when this first broke, and when it broke, let's go back in time. When this actually broke was shortly after it was revealed that somebody had hacked into the DNC servers. This actually began to surface before the WikiLeaks came out and just did major damage to Hillary Clinton's campaign. This was back when the DNC was hacked. Okay, and Nancy Pelosi came out. She was the first one to come out and say something to the effect, I'm paraphrasing, but what she said, it was to the effect of, we really shouldn't take stock in anything that's being revealed in terms of leaked emails because the Russians may be behind it. And since the Russians may be behind it, then there will be a tendency to create misinformation. That was the way she addressed it. We need to kind of, in fact, I think it was right after, like a couple days after, where they found out that her email account had been hacked.
No.
And she came out and with this big statement about the fact we need to disregard anything in terms of leaked emails because this is the work of the Russians and their counterintelligence, sending out misinformation, that kind of stuff. That was the narrative. But it didn't get a whole lot of airtime. I remember her doing it, but nobody really, spiked it and said, oh, yeah, this is it. It wasn't until the emails from John Podesta came to light.
Well, it's because of the content of the emails that brought it really to life. And it was right before the Democrat Party National Convention.
Right.
And that's what really brought it to life. It was holy cow, look at this. These people were trying to hurt the Bernie Sanders campaign before it ever got off the ground. And they were out front and they were calling them all kind of names. And remember the Sanders people were upset at the convention, blah, 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 until Bernie came out and said, look, I'm a sellout. Please behave.
Yeah. Yeah, I got my $600,000 home on shores of Vermont. Okay, so leave them alone, that kind of thing. And so what happened was when the Podesta emails came out, and some of them were extremely damaging, things like, oh, we know how to skew the polls, stuff like that, calling the Latino activists, whiny Mexicans or something like that, deplorables. Well, no, that was Hillary Clinton herself. But the point being is they were labeling the very blocks, the very voting blocks that they were trying to court for votes.
Exactly. And then to find out, a senior moment here. Sorry, lost it. Sorry, John. I was going down the road, and all of a sudden, a train hit me.
That's all right. I get what you're saying. What we're talking about here is that the narrative began to pick up steam as we got closer to the actual election. And then there was, just before the election, they started throwing the messy pants up against the wall. Trump had a secret email account with a Russian bank, Alpha Bank, had close ties to Vladimir Putin, and and that means that him telling us he has no business ties with Russia was a lie, and this the desperation that came out towards the end. Well, Hillary Clinton, she got stomped, and she got stomped big. And so after the aftershock, we told you, we warned you, we said after the shock of the election wears off a little bit, and these people come out of their numb state, then they're going to start trying to, 1, run damage control, 2, delegitimize Trump's victory, and 3, they're going to try to present a new narrative, a repackaged narrative that the Republicans are the party of white racist bigots.
Yeah, well, Schumer's already tried that. He's told us to stand on the floor of the Senate, going, "Hey, old people, the Republicans are going to have a war on old people. You better protect yourself against these people. They're going to be coming after you, old people."
Yeah, we're going to be pushing Granny over the cliff. I think it was. We're
going to round Granny up in one of those big, huge. Industrial coal, big open pit mine trucks where you can throw like 8 billion people into it, and we're going to just dump you over the cliff. We're not going to push you. We're going to really go do it full bore. That's shock and awe with Granny and Grandpa.
Yeah. So now it's going to be that and let's also remember.
Hey, that's Chuck Schumer, your new Senate minority leader, by the way.
And now let's also remember the fervor and the outrage that when when the issue of voter fraud came up, and when people started talking about the need to monitor people who are actually showing up at the polls, and the arguments were coming out against things like mail-in ballots and online voting and all this other kind of stuff, and it was the left who stood off to the side and said, "Oh, there's no such thing as voter fraud. This is a vast right-wing conspiracy. This is not a big issue. Our system is integral. The system is pure. There's nothing, and nobody can do anything to really, really destroy this. And then I think about a couple weeks before the election, and when Podesta emails and some of the other emails that were being leaked really started to do some damage, Jay Johnson comes out from Homeland Security and floats the idea that, well, maybe we do have a hacking problem, and maybe the federal government should take over the electoral process. And we put it under DHS, Department of Homeland Security, and we should, on a federal level, be monitoring the states.
Well, see, that right there took away the argument they were making, is how can these things be hacked? They're decentralized. It makes it so much more difficult for it to be hacked. And that's the saving grace we have with our system, is it's decentralized. The states all run it on their own, doing their own thing. And so that's the golden goose right there. What Johnson wants to do. He wants to come out and says, hey, we should centralize it all and take away that little that little golden nugget. And that way, so everybody, the federal government, we can do it better, just like your health care.
Yeah, we can't build a website for Obamacare, but we can oversee everybody else's website. It was like, and that didn't really wash with people either. I mean, people, yeah, okay, but it wasn't working. So what we had to get to this place where it was, because as Joe said, and Jay Johnson admitted, changing votes is not something that could really be done because the systems are decentralized. They're not tied into the internet. You can't hack into these systems, and so we don't have to worry about votes being manipulated. Of course, during the actual election, we heard reports that votes were being manipulated, but it wasn't a hacking thing. It was a programming thing. These things had been set up, programmed a certain way. Remember the word, if you heard it out there, we needed to recalibrate the machines. Okay, so it was something that was internal. Somebody programmed voting machines to change votes from Donald Trump to Hillary Clinton, and it was discovered. Voters paid attention to what they were doing.
Yeah, you never heard it going the other way.
Yeah, you never heard of a Trump vote being changed to Hillary Clinton.
Well, yes, you heard plenty of Trump votes changed to Hillary Clinton, but you never heard Hillary Clinton votes changed to Trump.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so so the argument was kind of moot. It didn't really cause the effect that they wanted. They weren't getting the results they wanted by it, and I guess they just figured we have enough voter fraud out there that we'll be able to cover it up. That we'll be able to, absentee ballots being created, being manipulated. We talked about what went on down there in Broward County, the king of Chads, all these other things that were going on. And I guess the Democrats, not a big deal. These swing states will pull enough voter fraud in and put enough voter fraud in place in the swing states, and we'll be okay. It didn't turn out that way.
Remember James O'Keefe in the Project Veritas video just prior to all this, showing how the Democrat operatives were out there and saying, hey, we've been doing this for years. We're going to be doing it even more. And what happened? Well, he just resigned and went away, and nobody knows where he's at right now because nobody seems to care right now.
No, it's probably out there sharing that beachfront property with Bernie Sanders. So
we can't hold there now.
So what they're doing right now is they're trying to not only delegitimize Trump's victory, but delegitimize all the revelations that came out during the campaign. See, what the narrative is ignore the fact that what was revealed is true, and instead pay attention to the allegations which we don't have any evidence to prove, and that will discredit and delegitimize any of the truth that you actually know. The name of the game is, let's focus on who was responsible for the release of the emails that was detrimental to Hillary Clinton's campaign rather than the emails themselves. Let's not look at the evidence. Let's look at the person or persons responsible for producing the evidence. And by doing that...
Emails? Well, remember, whose emails were these? Hillary Clinton's, John Podesta's, Cheryl Mills, Huma Abedin, Bernie Sanders. There was all these people's emails. Yes, those are the people that made them, who made them available to the public. Oh, well, does it really matter to me? Yeah, I don't like anybody hacking it, but really, this is stuff that our press should have been doing if they investigated things. Right. But they were all in the tank for Hillary and the Democrat.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, we're at the bottom of the hour here. We got to take a break. We'll come back. We'll have Bob Cardoso from Robert Cardoso Live on. Stay with us right here. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'll make you a deal. Give me 60 seconds and I'll give you directions to the Fountain of Youth. Okay, I'm joking. Well, kind of joking. No fountains, but youth, I got Nature's Youth and their premier anti-aging product, Nature's Youth RSF. With your sensible diet and exercise plan, Nature's Youth RSF can help you look and feel better. RSF is an all-natural amino acid supplement that supports your body to naturally increase HGH levels without any synthetic hormones. And elevated HGH levels can contribute to increased energy, improved libido, reduced body fat, and improved exercise capacity. Let's be honest. Who doesn't want to look and feel younger? Visit the newly designed website at naturesyouth.com or call 800-333-6923. That's 800-333-6923 and like them on Facebook and you'll be included in contests and exclusive offers. What a deal. Oh, speaking of deals, my time's about up. 800-333-6923 or naturesyouth.com. Who needs a fountain anyway? Call today.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call, but I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907.
Hey, Bugsy, you hear the news about Vinny?
Yeah, it's a real shame. He owed money to the IRS and they finally cut up with him.
Just like Al Capone.
If the IRS can get to Capone, imagine what they can do to little old Vinny, huh?
Poor cat, he was on top of the world. Then bada boom, bada bing.
What Vinny needs now is an offer he can't refuse.
Hey, you got a tax problem? Does the IRS claim you owe them a bunch of dough? They can get you too. So call the tax relief line now and learn if you qualify to negotiate your $10,000 plus IRS tax debt for up to a 75% savings. Don't be like Al or Vinny and get busted. Make this free call now. Learn how you may be able to pay the IRS less.
Call now. 866-657-8474. 866-657-8474. 866-657-8474. 866-657-8474.
Get your panties all in a bunch.
The Conservative Syndicate.net, exposing weapons of mass distraction. All right, hey, we're back. And you are listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives, and we're glad to have you with us here. It's time for us to see if we can find our good buddy out there, Bob Cardosa, out there doing whatever it is he's doing. I know he's been taking it kind of easy lately, so let's see if we can get him on here with us, and we'll get involved here in our Monday segment. Bob is usually doing broadcasts. I know he's not doing any broadcasts today, so I'm not really sure what's happening here. Oh, I'm looking at my stuff here. It looked like it dropped. Let me, wow, okay. I tell you, sometimes I've got to find a better system than Skype. I am just really becoming frustrated with this entire operation here. Anyway, okay, well, it is what it is. Can't get him on the line. Here, his call's dropping. Maybe he's not answering his phone. I don't blame him. All right, we'll try one more time here. If the call goes through, fine. If not, we'll just continue with our conversation. Anyway, getting back to this whole thing, this narrative that is being pushed out there now about doing or creating committees and special committees and everything else and stuff like that. It's just, well, I guess it's just shouldn't be surprising to us.
Well, when's it going to happen, John? Because Congress has left town for a month.
Yeah.
Back until after the inauguration.
Yeah, we get the rhetoric. You know, we've got the rhetoric out there, but the point being is that just as much as over the weekend, there was it looked like Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell was going to ask for some kind of special committee, special review or something like that, and I guess he since has backed off from that. And is just saying, no, the Senate Intelligence Committee will take care of this. And, of course, who's leading it for the Republicans? The kings of the Rhino Force out there, John McCain and Lindsey Graham. I guess Lindsey Graham is sobered up long enough to realize that, hey, maybe I need to do something. I need to get my name. My name hasn't been in the media for a couple months now. I got to do something to get the attention. The same with McCain. And so they're out there. And what's funny is, I'm hearing, you read articles like out here in the Hill, and there's phrases that I hear now that when I hear it just really jerk my string. Just
understand the Hill is whatever the Republican establishment would like to get out to the people.
Yeah,
they put it out through the Hill, and it's like their Pravda.
Yeah. So, but when you hear things like McConnell noted, I'm reading from this article here. McConnell noted that he sits on the panel as an ex officio member, and that incoming Senate Democratic leader Charles Schumer will soon join in the same capacity. Schumer joined McCain and two other bipartisan lawmakers. See, those are words that you need to start looking at words like this. Yep. Bipartisan lawmakers. John McCain and Lindsey Graham are in no way bipartisan lawmakers. Okay, they are jackasses in elephant skins. They are liberals. They just have an R after their name because that's what got them elected. But they are in no way, shape, or form. They are partisan lawmakers, and they are partisan in the sense that they almost always agree with the Democrats. And even when they're disagreeing, they're agreeing.
Well, they are the reason why the 17th Amendment needs to be repealed in personification. I mean, they personify that reason right there. John McCain, Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell, Harry Reid. Harry's gone, though, by the way. Harry's going to be gone. I mean, but we have all these people. If we didn't have the 17th Amendment and it was going back to the states. If you didn't do what the state wanted you to do, the state legislature in your particular state, if you weren't standing up and doing the job for your state, they would get rid of your butt. Not this popular vote, and you get John McCain, who hasn't done anything for his people in Arizona for decades, but yet they still send his butt back.
Yeah.
Seriously, Albert Einstein is going, see? Insane. They're insane. Right there, Arizona. They expect a different outcome. Keep doing the same thing, though. That's insanity.
Okay. Well,
sorry. That's
no. Your point's valid here. I'm reading down my peripheral vision here from Bob while you're talking here. So I'm trying to think and chew gum at the same time, kind of thing.
How's Bob Cardoza doing, by the way?
Well, he just told me that his phone didn't ring, but I'm saying, well, hey, I tried 3 times and it dropped. So, it is what it is. Anyway, here's let me lay out these points here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me lay out the points. What we're going to lead up to here as we get more into the details here. There's basically 2 points for this narrative that Russia hacked the U.S., the DNC, and the White House, and forwarded all this stuff to WikiLeaks. See, that's what they're doing. They're trying to discredit Julian Assange and whoever is his person who provided all this information by saying, basically, Assange has ties with Russia.
Yeah, it's like, okay, is it untrue, anything that's been said? Is any of these emails false? Are they just bogus?
No, there's been no denial. Not a single thing that's come out of these WikiLeaks has been denied by anybody as being non-factual or truth. So what we have to do is we have to tie the culprit responsible for these leaks to somebody that everybody demonizes, and Russia is somebody they demonize. Now, I have something I'm going to share with you later about this, because you will see the hypocrisy so clear. You will see it so clear. A statement that Ben Rhodes put out about Barack Obama years ago, back in the 2008 campaign, and we'll get to that. But here, I want to just kind of give you an idea of where we're going here, because, as I said, the narrative right now is just to try to delegitimize Trump. That's the primary goal right now.
Yeah.
But there's other aspects of this, because liberals don't stop with that. You give them an arm, and they'll take a leg. You give them an inch, and they'll take a mile.
And
they'll
just said it before, John. These people will not go away just because they lost this election. They will never go away. They will repackage and they will reattack, and it'll look different, but it'll be the same flavor.
Yeah, and it'll have more energy behind it. It'll have more fervor, more lies, more spin, and more blame. It's just they just keep piling it on. They do. If you think that the election of Donald Trump is going to stop the left,
nope.
You really need to get your head examined, because it's not going to do anything except energize them. These guys are by nature anarchists and community organizers. All right, that's what they do. It's how they function. They live and breathe Alinsky, and you really need to get a grasp of that. But here it is. The first a goal and objective here, of course, is to delegitimize Trump's election. Now, they're going to be doing this by what? By the fact that we talk about the popular vote versus electoral college and all this other stuff involved in this is where that's going to be our end point. I'm going from stage 1 to stage 3 or 4, which is the targeting of our election system. That's the end game, okay? But right now, it's delegitimize Trump's election.
Well, understand that the Democrat Party and the progressives and liberals, whatever you want to package them at, they want control. Period. They want ultimate control.
Right.
They want ultimate control. Whatever that is, they want it.
Right. So they got it through this process. There's several sub-agendas, several sub-goals, I guess you could put it that way. They want to further divide white America by ostracizing the deplorable, irredeemable Southern white people that got Donald Trump elected.
Identity politics.
Okay. They need a defense regarding any future revelations about corruption and collusion that come out of the Democrat Party. This is, I said this in the beginning. Nancy Pelosi floated this idea that, well, because the Russians are behind it, it's not actual information, it's misinformation.
with no proof that the Russians are actually behind it.
Right, with no proof. But that's what the allegation was. The Russians are behind this, and therefore anything from this point on now, this is what's going to be used. Any more revelations about Hillary Clinton or the Clinton Foundation or anything that's going on with John Podesta, or if it even filters down and we start hearing more about Nancy Pelosi and Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Donna Brazile and all these things start coming out even more, then this is going to be their argument. The first response is going to be, but the Russia's behind this, it's illegitimate. The next thing they're going to do is it helps them maintain the narrative that the Democratic establishment still represents middle America. Okay, because that's why you're hearing things like Nancy Pelosi getting reelected as a minority leader in the House of Representatives. Why? Because we know how to win. We haven't won in a long time, but we know how to win, and there's no reason to change leadership. We got it all under control. And so this is, we were just knocked off our balance because Russia was behind this and Trump was conspiring with them and Julian Assange is their secret ally. And so it's going to help maintain their establishment prestige and what they see, even if it's just in their own mind. Okay? It patronizes and it pacifies big donors. We've been hearing all these reports about Hillary Clinton lose. The Clinton Foundation all of a sudden has run out of donors. Okay, so why is that? Well, one, she lost the election.
Bingo, no pay for play.
Okay, no pay for play. But two, nobody wants to be tied to this right now. These people aren't going to be throwing their money out there hoping that in 2020 Hillary Clinton makes another run.
Well, if she would have won the election, they would be tied to it no matter what. I mean, they'd be all over it. Oh, man, it'd be like, white on rice.
Yeah.
But now that she lost, no pay for play. She can't help them anymore. All those promises that, when I get elected, I'm going to do this for you and do that for your cause and blah, blah, blah. Well, ain't happening. So they're leaving that sinking ship. See you, bye-bye.
The other thing it does is it gives something for the elites, the establishment on both sides of the aisle, to talk about rather than govern. They now have, do we need a special committee? Well, we got the Senate Intelligence Committee. We need investigations. We got to get the intelligence community involved in this. And it makes it look like they're doing something.
Yes, well, they needed a common enemy. The common enemy throughout this election was the establishment, was the enemy. Now the establishment needed a common enemy so they could go and have the light shined on that common enemy. Now it's Assange and Russia.
And eventually Trump. See, when we get into some of the comments here coming out of the rhinos like McCain and what's his other, Lindsey Graham, you're going to hear, and we were telling you, and you can expect to see this, the establishment in the GOP is not going to go away quietly either. They're not going to let Trump bully them around. If they can at all avoid it, they're going to be doing whatever they can to undermine Trump's efforts to bring this country back into any facet of being a solid republic. And but what this does is it allows them to get on Hannity and the Kelly File and CNN and all the other outlets and talk about how they're governing when they're not governing. They're investigating an allegation, but it keeps the public's eyes off the fact that they're doing nothing in Congress, and the things that they are doing are detrimental to the republic.
Yeah, they're investigating a fart in the wind.
Yeah, see, they're investigating something when they should be investigating themselves.
That ain't going to happen. Like I said, they needed to find an enemy that didn't point towards them anymore.
Yeah, and then the last thing here under this first category is that it helps protect Obama's policy failures and his involvement with the Clinton classified information scandal. You didn't think Obama didn't know what was going on? I got stuff here I'm going to show you and share with you that he knew exactly what was going on, and it is exactly the reason why Hillary wasn't indicted.
Yep.
Okay, so it's going to misdirect the conversation while Obama goes out there in his goodbye tour and tells everybody what a great guy he is, what a great president he is, all the great things he's done through progressivism, and nobody's going to be paying attention to that too much. And his involvement and everything else with the Clinton, his knowledge of Clinton, not only his knowledge, but his guilt by also participating in the transference of classified information, perhaps. But we do know this. We do know that Barack Obama had a pseudonym, and he did communicate with Clinton on her private unsecured server.
Absolutely. He knew all about it.
So all these things just the first point. The second point here provides a basis for a new narrative that the election system needs reform and needs to be overhauled. And what I'm talking about here is the eradicating of the Electoral College, putting this thing in the hands of the popular vote, or at best, perhaps using district electors rather than elected electors or selected electors, and which would give the bias that they need, would give them the numbers they need, so that voter fraud can be rampant and used more effectively. That's That's the end game.
Yeah,
all right.
So about everybody right there.
Okay. Having said that, we got to go to a break here. We're over on our time. We'll be right back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
There is an old saying, children should be seen but not heard. At no time is this more apparent than when politicians speak. TheConservativeSyndicate.net, the adults in the room. Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardosa. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardosa Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosalive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosalive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did. History affirms a vibrant civil society thrives on freedom of conscience, religion, and choice. Any society absent these qualities stifles individual responsibility and accountability, thus enslaving its people by denying them their potential for goodness, creativity, and altruism. To that extent, oppression, coercion, and totalitarianism are multiplied exponentially. To counter such outcomes, the American Freedom Alliance was formed. The AFA is a nonpartisan, non-aligned movement which promotes, defends, and upholds Western values and ideals. The Alliance strives to build an international coalition of citizens of the West who together promote and protect moral values, democracy, and freedom. To find out more and become part of this valuable asset in the preservation of freedom and all its rewards, contact us at AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. That's AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. Let freedom ring.
Don't get your panties all in a bunch.
The ConservativeSyndicate.net, exposing weapons of mass distraction. All right, hey, we're back. And if you don't know, you're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives, and we're glad to have you with us. Hey, I do want to mention here, we are going to be starting the new year out with a couple of new contributor panels. Scott Faulkner, those of you who listened to the show last week on Monday, he's going to be part of our panel, or in addition to our panel. Jonathan Dunn, who also was with us last week, has graciously agreed to become part of our panel. So we're going to be very well-rounded come this new year. We're going to have somebody over in Europe fill us in on what's going on over there. Scott Faulkner has inside information on the inner workings of government that I think is just going to be very valuable to us here on the show. And of course, we have myself and Joe and Audrey Russo from Real Talk Radio, Robert Cardosa from Robert Cardosa Live, and Donald Dix from Act for America. So very well-rounded panel. I'm expecting good things next year. So just let your people know out there that, hey, we are the show to listen to. You know, you're not going to get the talking parrots out there like you would get listening to some of the mainstream outlets. They're little selected parrots that just kind of echo what they say, or what they want put out there, whatever narrative or agenda they have, that kind of thing. So just let you know that. Okay. Let me start off the serious side of this discussion here. We can get this done before the break here. Forbes' Tom Basile wrote an article yesterday, I believe it was. Let's see. No, today. I'm sorry. It was today. out at Forbes, the real fake news is the mainstream media. Because it's being combined here. The allegations of Russian hacking is also being tied to this narrative of fake news. And that's what we've been trying to outline to you. The idea that whether or not the email leaks and all the revelations that came through WikiLeaks and other things that happened, whether or not they are real and factual, they are actually fake because of the sources. How this information was gathered is going to be the issue, and that is going to be the narrative that's being pushed forward, not the facts, not what the emails reveal, not what we can look at and say this. We have actual evidence that this actually occurred. It's going to be that's all fake news. It's fake news because the sources are questionable.
And also because they say it is.
Yeah, because they say it's, and that's the point. It's not the legitimacy of the information. It's the legitimacy of what they term or what they believe is the reason that this information got out there. So therefore, disregard the facts and let's make the allegation the issue. Let's make the allegations. We don't have any evidence that Russia did this, but because we believe they did, that will become the narrative. And that's how it's evolved. It first came out with the speculation. They could have been to, we think it is, to the intelligence agencies tell us that it looks like, to now absolutely. And none of it has been backed up with any evidence other than people out there who benefit from it, these cybersecurity agencies getting their 15 seconds of fame, getting on the talk shows so that now everybody knows who they are, and they can make money off of that. It's free advertising, okay? And it fits the narrative that the left wants to put out there, all right? So his article here, he says here, I'm just going to read you a couple clips here, and then we'll be going to the top of the hour, and we'll get more into it the next hour. The morning after the election, anchors and columnists were making a collective stammering act of contrition about just how wrong they were about the election and the electorate. But in the months since, see, we told you they were going to regroup. In the months since, the so-called mainstream media have, as if in coordinated fashion, executed a transparent strategy to bludgeon the president-elect at every turn. Republicans, conservatives, independents, and the majority of Americans who actually want to give Donald Trump a chance to lead will likely see through this anti-Trump propaganda campaign, but perhaps a review of their strategy is instructive at this point. Media outlets have again shown they are doubling down on the same strategy that has driven their own approval ratings close to, dare I say, congressional territory, meaning single-digit approval numbers. That's right. Survey after survey finds the same media that has made beating up conservatives, Republicans, and religious institutions and industry has seen their tactics boomerang on them. First, they are advancing the strategy of attempting to tie President-elect and his team to the so-called alt-right and neo-Nazi white supremacist lunatics, despite Trump and his transition team issuing multiple statements denouncing the activities of a number of groups. A subcomponent to this was advancing a message that the country was in turmoil in the days after the election because of widespread protests against the newly elected president. Yeah, there were protests out there, but it was not wide mass turmoil. It was not chaos. It was just a bunch of whiny liberal kids running down the street upset that their person didn't win. Third, the press have pushed several key messages to delegitimize the president-elect. Let's take them in order. First, the media is aggressively driving the narrative that Trump didn't win the popular vote. See, I told you the end game is the Electoral College here. Yeah. This part of the playbook was dusted off from George W. Bush's 2000 election. Yes. Of course, the big brains in the media never mentioned to their readers and viewers the simple fact that the Electoral College, whatever you might think about it, dictates the strategy of national elections. So Mr. Basile points very well to what's going on here. It is the mainstream media that is providing the fake news, and the fake news is the fake narrative. The fake narrative is given to them by the left, and they go out and create the fake news that advances that narrative. That's what we're dealing with here. And boy, we ran way over time. I went way over here. We got to go to Edward's notebook, and then we'll be right back, guys.
America the Beautiful is already benefiting from the Trump effect. Hello, I'm Ron Edwards. On today's page from the Edwards Notebook, after 8 dark years of economic misery, the United States economy is starting to show visible signs of life. Pro-American Donald Trump is still waiting in the wings before stepping into his elected role as President of these United States. But amazingly, he already has done more before taking the oath of office to invigorate the U.S. economy than outgoing progressive President Obama did over the past 80 years as the leader from behind president. Because Donald Trump took the time to reach out to Bill Ford, the Ford Motor Company has modified plans to ship auto production to Mexico, and thus jobs will be spared in Michigan. Air conditioning manufacturer Carrier of Indiana will now not be pulling up stakes and moving their headquarters to Mexico. With the promise of reducing America's burdensome corporate tax rate and abusive regulations, the legendary U.S. economy is once again poised to take off. By God's grace, good days are dawning upon our republic.
Happy days are here again.
Don't blow it this time, America. I'm Ron Edwards.
A healthy attitude toward politics will always be relentlessly cynical. The Conservative Syndicate.net, doing our part to keep America healthy.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right, General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. Term life insurance. It can be a powerful way to protect your assets and your family. You work hard to earn and save your money to build a nest egg for the future. Don't let it get wiped out because you didn't plan ahead. Take the time now and make a small investment in $500,000 or more in quality term life insurance. Call the Term Lifeline and let us shop the best companies to give you the lowest rates. We specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. Ask about some of our 10 and 20-year fixed rate plans with guaranteed rates. Call the Term Lifeline right now for your free insurance quote. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609. You owe it to yourself to protect your family and your assets. Make term life insurance part of that plan. Call the Term Lifeline right now. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardosa. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardosa Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosalive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosalive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Hey, all you can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time for the truth. Right here, right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
The latter-day prophet.
Baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your host on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
All right, hey, we're back. Hour two right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos. And I want to get back into this discussion here about the short-term and long-term narratives that are being put out there right now regarding the hacking of U.S. sources out here by the Russians. And, I was just during the break here, popped up this little article here. And again, language. Language is everything to me. A lot of times when I look at articles, the bulk of an article I think was just garbage. But then I'll catch something in the article in terms of a couple of words or a phrase that gives me the context of what's trying to be said here. The CIA, listen to this now, because I'm going to give you an analogy that's very accurate. CIA has high confidence Russians tried to influence election in Trump's favor. All right, now, the words high confidence, what that means is we're not really sure, but we think so. We really, 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 really think so. Okay? And I'll give you an analogy. Remember all the reports that came out from the International Climate Change Committees, ICCC, and all these other things back during the Copenhagen times when Barack Obama was trying to get the Olympic Games over here. And at the same time, there was really a push for climate change, a climate change agenda. We call it creative destruction, trying to use the weather for creative destruction. That's really what it is. And we talked about this, and I actually outlined reports to you. I went and got these reports, and I looked at them, and every single one said basically the same thing. At the conclusion of all their data and all their assumptions and all their hypotheses and everything else that they were floating, the conclusion was always something about like this. We have high confidence that climate change is man-made. We have every reason to believe that climate change is man-made. Nothing... Though we can't say for sure, but we have high confidence that what we are telling you is the truth. And then we found out later on that the models that they were using for this stuff were manipulated so that they could do what? So they could continue to ask for money to continue to study the weather and try to convince us that we need to change the way we do things. And it's all part of the end game, the creative destruction, moving the wealth of industry from one class to another. In this case, taking money away from what is construed to be the Republicans, the neocons, the capitalists, the greedy oppressors, and giving it to what?
Rich countries, John. Oh, that's rich people.
Yeah,
that's
all these rich people, and doing what? Giving it over to the liberal people who have our best interests at heart.
The poor, downtrodden poor of these undeveloped countries.
Yes. And we'll do it while Al Gore goes out there laying more carbon footprints than anybody else, flying around the world trying to convince everybody that fossil fuel is bad. Okay, so it's just, it's just, but the word high confidence, that's what caught my eye. I read this saying.
It's bad when you use it, but when I use it, it's a good thing because I'm using it to protect you.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Use it. And that's why we call it creative destruction. It's creative. A creative means to destroy one aspect of an economy in order to generate a new type of economy that would, of course, feed the mouths of a new type of aristocrat. But the point being is there really isn't a difference. These guys are both, they've been around for ages. Wall Street funds Democrats just like they do Republicans. Industries fund Democrats just like they do Republicans. It's just been the narrative is the Democrat Party is the party of the people, and the Republican Party is the party of the rich. That's been the narrative. And so that didn't work. And so now we got to create a demon. Who's the demon? The oil companies are the demon.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's how it's being played here. The kicker in this whole thing is that the CIA cannot produce any evidence, and the FBI is at odds with the CIA, saying since there's no evidence, we're not taking a position on this. That's that's one of the things pointed out in this article here. The FBI and the CIA are not agreeing on whether or not these allegations are true or to what degree they are true because of a lack of evidence. There you go. There it is. But it's going to continue. At some point in time, the FBI will cave and they'll join into the mantra that the Russians influence the election. And when we come back, I want Joe to expound on this because he said something to me earlier before we got on the air here. Why would Vladimir Putin want Donald Trump as president when he could have gotten everything he wanted had Hillary Clinton won? There's the $64 question. Look at who Trump is appointing in cabinet positions. Perhaps even more conservative, some people are saying, than Ronald Reagan. Why would Vladimir Putin want Donald Trump in there if Trump is putting people into place that's going to go after Russia? Think about that just for a minute as we go to a break. We'll be right back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
A healthy attitude toward politics will always be relentlessly cynical. The ConservativeSyndicate.net, doing our part to keep America healthy.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Attention taxpayers. If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
Don't get your panties all in a bunch.
The Conservative Syndicate.net, exposing weapons of mass distraction. Okay, we're back, and just a quick encouragement, visit our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, and you can pick up the archive of this show afterwards, or any of our shows. Find out, check out the new people we have on a panel. Their bios are there, so you can see what type of organization we have here at the conservativesyndicate.net. All right, having said that, I just share with you an article I found during the break here at the top of the hour about how the CIA and the FBI are kind of quasi in agreement, quasi-agreement, I guess, that perhaps the Russians did hack and are responsible for the election of Donald Trump because of the hacking. Basically, what the narrative is going to be is that the Russians didn't want Hillary Clinton to win. They wanted Trump for whatever reason. And I imagine part of that's going to be a business thing. I bet you somewhere down the line here we're going to start hearing about Trump's got secret business dealings. Completely disregarding, of course, Hillary Clinton had secret business dealings also. Giving away uranium, American uranium,
while she was Secretary of State, no less.
Yeah, while she was in office.
Yes.
Okay? So this whole idea of Trump having business ties out there that need to be monitored, and he needs to disassociate. Well, nobody asked Hillary Clinton to disassociate from the Clinton Foundation. And look what that has led to. And we still don't know the depth of that corruption. We know it's there, but we don't know the depth of it, which is why this narrative is so important to the Democrats.
Yes.
Okay, they've got to delegitimize Trump, and they've got to delegitimize the election so that they can defend Hillary Clinton when more information starts coming out about the Clinton Foundation, because it's out there. It's going to be coming down the pipe here somewhere along the line here. And we were telling you about how some of the people in the media have picked up on this. Tom Basil over at Forbes wrote an article on it, that the real fake news is from the mainstream media. Now, I want to go from that. We know that Trump has pretty much called the assessment of Russian interference ridiculous, and he's just basically blowing the CIA off. Now, here's the funny part. Those who are defending the CIA as a legitimate source are trying to convince us now that the CIA is apolitical. They're not involved in any of the politics behind any of this stuff, as is the FBI. These are apolitical organizations.
Really?
And therefore, Donald Trump is going to have to learn to accept what they say. See,
really?
Here's the thing. I'll let you comment on this, Joe. Here's the thing. Everything is trying, the media and the left is trying once again to force Trump into that box. That little template that they have is that this is how you're supposed to act as president. This is how you're supposed to view the world, the prism
that you're supposed to look through, the looking glass. This is how you're supposed to see the world, because this is the way it's always been. And Trump has basically just thumbed his nose at everybody and said, I don't give a damn what you people think. This is what I'm going to do. And that is what is going to, I guess, magnify everything that he does in the eyes of the media and the left as being wrong. And that's how, this whole thing, this narrative thing is just the beginning. This Russian hacking thing is just the beginning of what they're going to be doing to try to, at every point in time, delegitimize Trump as a competent person who should be leading the country. That's really the end game. And what are your comments on that, Joe?
Well, the CIA is an apolitical organization. Is this the same CIA that colluded with Hillary Clinton in the State Department and said, hey, that was a video that caused the attack on our compound in Benghazi? Is that the same CIA?
Yeah, and the same CIA that remained complicit in letting us know about the gun running that was going on there. That was the actual cause of the Libya compound being attacked. And the stand-down orders that came from the Obama administration that cost the lives of Americans over there. Yeah, the same CIA.
So this is the same CIA. I just wanted to make sure we were talking about the same organization. I didn't think we were talking about the Little Sisters of the Poor or something.
Yeah, the same organization that falls under the jurisdiction of James Clapper, the head of these 17 defense agencies, intelligence agencies, who was a lapdog for the Obama administration. Now gone, by the way. Saw the right time to bail out. Obama's gone. It's time to leave.
Gotta go. They're going to be coming after me.
Yeah. So now this broke towards the middle of last week. I'm going in kind of a chronological order here, just to give you an idea of how this evolution is taking place here and how this thing will evolve. We always remember this started out as pure speculation, more like wishful thinking, turned into speculation, into allegations and innuendo, which our president kept telling us is we don't make judgment based on innuendo and allegations.
We don't do that here at this.
Yeah, we don't do that. Unless, of course, our people are losing. Then we do it all the time.
We don't do that here at this administration. We go on facts.
Yeah, we're transparent and we go by facts, okay? Hillary Clinton came out last week, on Friday of last week, and said that fake news, so-called fake news, often blatant falsehoods passed offline as truth and spread by conspiracy theorists, okay? They were talking, this got through my radar here, Pizzagate. A false report spread online that erroneously accused Clinton and her campaign of running a child sex ring at a pizza shop. Okay, well, I guess that's why that was not on my radar. But anyhow, but Clinton went on to use that as cover for what she really wanted to say. She said that the spread of fake news, which has flooded social media over the past year, not before that, but over the past year, coincidentally, the same time she's running for president, is a trend that can have real-world consequences. This is not about politics or partisanship. Lives are at risk. Lives of ordinary people just trying to go about their days and do their jobs. It's a danger that must be addressed and addressed quickly. Now, you would think that she was talking about things like this Pizzagate, because what I understand is somebody went into this pizza joint and started shooting it up. And they apprehended the guy. And so she's saying, this fake news about the pizza parlor is something that is consequential and human lives are in danger. But then she goes on to say, Clinton backed bipartisan legislation that looks to give Congress more power to respond to foreign propaganda, an apparent reference to Russia's role in funding some of the fake news, according to two studies put out by cybersecurity agencies, which have ties to the Clinton campaign and the DNC, by the way. We covered that a couple of weeks ago. Peter Chris, I think, is one of the guys. But anyway, these new agencies out there that are saying, we've looked at this thing, and we've determined that all the fingerprints are there, that the Russians were behind this thing. Well, where's the evidence? We don't have any evidence. We just think because there's some similarities in how these things took place that it must be the Russians.
Has to be. Who else could it be?
Yeah, who else could it be? Okay? With the goal of influencing U.S. politics, by the way. That's the point. It is imperative that leaders in both private and public sector stepped up to protect our democracy and innocent lives. So she used the human shield, the child sex ring at the pizza parlor, to introduce the topic, and then evolved into the conversation. What she really wanted to talk about is that I lost the election because these leaks were out there, and these leaks came from Russia, and Russia's tied to Trump, and therefore Russia wanted Trump as president.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense if you're a leftist liberal, because that's the only kind of sense that it could make. All right? Now, Clinton campaign, here's a note here. The Clinton campaign is now pressing for intelligence on Russian hacking. Now, this just came out today. Associated Press, Andrew Taylor. Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta, the man who was basically the target of all the email hacks, most of them, whose emails were stolen and posted on the internet, said never before in the history of our republic, I'm surprised he used that word, have we seen such an effort to undermine the bedrock of our democracy. There it is. He used the right word there. Podesta said the campaign supports an effort by a handful of members of the Electoral College, including a Republican who says he won't vote for President-elect Donald Trump, to be briefed on the U.S. intelligence on the potential leaks between Trump's campaign and Russia. 10 electors on Monday released an open letter to Director of National Intelligence James Clapper, requesting information about ongoing investigations on ties between Trump and Russian government interference in the election. The letter from the electors, released on social media site Medium, was written by Christine Pelosi, the daughter of top House Democrat Nancy Pelosi of California. So what they're saying now is, we want these intelligence agencies to brief the electors in the Electoral College as to what they know. Now, why would they want to do that? They want to do it because they want to get electors to change their vote.
Yes.
That's the agenda here. We if we can give them a reason to change their vote, change their mind by alluding to and providing intelligence that says, yes, we know that Russia is behind this, and Russia did it because they wanted Trump. They didn't want Clinton in office. Clinton would have been absolutely no threat. In fact, she would have been the closest thing to an ally that they had since Barack Obama. You know, Obama tried to put on his face that he was anti-Russia, but he had no balls with Russia. Remember, it was he who on an open mic said to the ambassador of Russia, or one of the cabinet heads in Russia, well, I forget who he was, but wasn't it he that got caught in an open mic and says, I'll have more flexibility after the next election?
That is correct, sir.
Okay. Wasn't it Hillary Clinton that set up a deal that sent U.S. uranium to a shell company in Canada and was then transferred over to a rogue uranium dealer over in Russia? Yeah, I think that's who that was.
Correct, sir.
Okay. So what they're saying here, so now the evolution is from, again, now we want to involve the electors. And that is why Hillary Clinton got involved in the recount. It was just an offhanded way of getting into the conversation. The recount, by the way, I think has been all but stopped everywhere that it was going. And
yes.
Trump...
In fact, just before we came on the air, it was reported that the Secretary of State of Pennsylvania said there is no recount. Nothing's going to happen here. Donald Trump is the victor in Pennsylvania. So there's another state in the back. So, yes, it was a shellac, and it was a landslide victory. 300 and some to Electoral College votes to Hillary Clinton's pathetic 230-something.
Yeah. Now, here's the deal. These electors, these 10 electors that Christine Pelosi is representing, by the way, are in California, which means those electors have to go to Hillary Clinton anyway. Right? She took California.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay, so those electoral votes have to fall in Clinton's column. So you talk about these 10 electors, Whether all they're doing is making noise, it's not going to change their vote. They're going to have to vote for Hillary Clinton anyway, or they would want to. I don't know what the deal is. I got to check on California. I think we're bound. I think electors out here are bound. And the way that it normally works is that if an elector doesn't want to vote the way the public says he was supposed to vote, then they replace that elector with somebody who does. I think they're kind of set up like Colorado. I'll have to verify that. I might be wrong. But the point being is that these electors aren't going to be changing their vote, but they are part of the propaganda campaign. See, because the idea is if we can get these 10 electors, hey, can we go down to Florida? Can we go to Texas? Can we go to some of these other bigger states that Donald Trump won and ask the same thing? Can we go to Pennsylvania? Can we go to Wisconsin? Can we go to Michigan? And say, hey, you guys need to review this evidence before you cast your final vote. That's where they're heading with it. It's a last-ditch attempt to try to upset and circumvent the election results. We're at the bottom of the hour. Time for a break. We'll be right back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
City Talk Radio, WRS Cleveland.
Hey, I'll make you a deal. Give me 60 seconds and I'll give you directions to the Fountain of Youth. Okay, I'm joking. Well, kind of joking. No fountains, but youth, I got. Nature's Youth and their premier anti-aging product, Nature's Youth RSF. With your sensible diet and exercise plan, Nature's Youth RSF can help you look and feel better. RSF is an all-natural amino acid supplement that supports your body to naturally increase HGH levels without any synthetic hormones. And elevated HGH levels can contribute to increased energy, improved libido, reduced body fat, and improved exercise capacity. Let's be honest. Who doesn't want to look and feel younger? Visit the newly designed website at naturesyouth.com or call 800-333-6923. That's 800-333-6923 and like them on Facebook and you'll be included in contest and exclusive offers. What a deal. Oh, speaking of deals, my time's about up. 800-333-6923 or naturesyouth.com. Who needs a fountain anyway? Call today.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call, but I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, security, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907.
Hey, Bugsy, you hear the news about Vinny?
Yeah, it's a real shame he owed money to the IRS and they finally cut up with him.
Just like Al Capone.
If the IRS can get to Capone, imagine what they can do to little old Vinny, huh?
Poor cat, he was on top of the world, then bada boom, bada bing.
What Vinny needs now is an offer he can't refuse.
Hey, you got a tax problem? Does the IRS claim you owe them a bunch of dough? They can get you too. So call the tax relief line now and learn if you qualify to negotiate your $10,000 plus IRS tax debt for up to a 75% savings. Don't be like Al or Vinny and get busted. Make this free call now. Learn how you may be able to pay the IRS less.
Call now. 866-657-8474, 866-657-8474, 866-657-8474, 866-657-8474.
Don't get your panties all in a bunch.
The Conservative Syndicate.net, exposing weapons of mass distraction. Okay, we're back. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, and this is the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. Now, I'm kind of marching you through, kind of leading you through, tromping you through, whatever adjective or verb you want to use, this evolution of these allegations that Russia is responsible for the election of Donald Trump. That is really what the narrative is, and that is what's going to be projected from this moment forward until they find some other little gem out there that they can turn and use in line with that.
Boogeyman to blame. They're just going to try to find another boogeyman to blame.
Yeah. They've kind of done it. In fact, there's a certain segment of our population now that are also being demonized for being foolish enough to elect this guy. The white supremacists, us white folk out here, cling to our guns and religion, and don't care that organizations like All Right and the KKK want Donald Trump as president. That kind of stuff. So anyway. We started out with at the beginning of the show, the Nancy Pelosi thing, something she was floating out there just a couple months before the election when the email leaks began to start hitting the media. And she tried to float the idea that, we got to be cautious about this because it could have been the Russians behind this. And it could be some kind of counterintuitive intelligent message, counterintelligence. Something like that is trying to bring about and circumvent our election process. It began to evolve as more and more of the email leaks came out, especially John Podesta's email account, and just all kinds of damning information, everything from how to skew a poll to actually making fun of the people that they rely on for their votes. I mean, it was just a full spectrum that revealed the nastiness and the hypocrisy and the elitism of Democratic operatives.
And the disingenuousness of the Democrats themselves.
Yeah. They eat their young. If you're not a useful demographic, then you're demonized. If you are a useful demographic, you're demonized. Okay? Then you can't win for losing with the Democrats. Okay? Doesn't matter whether you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, gay, straight, whatever. They don't really. They are the elitists. All the rest of us are just minions. All right, and they're the ones that know how to take care of things. Anyway, so it went to the election took place. There are the riots in the street that Donald Trump should not have been elected because he didn't get the popular vote. Then it went from there. It went to further allegations. All of a sudden, intelligence communities are telling us, yes, it was the Russians. We have no evidence, but we know it's the Russians. And we've been asking the question, why would Vladimir Putin want Donald Trump, given the fact that Trump is putting people in place right now that are very anti-Russian?
Well, what did Trump run on? He's going to strengthen our military.
Right.
We want our allies in NATO to pick up the ball and actually be more involved in their own protection. I mean, everything that Putin would never want. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton, what was she going to give him? A button that said, "You won"?
Yeah. If we go from reset to "you won," what can I do for you? That would be the one. What can I do for you? I'll give you a direct.
This election's over. I have way more flexibility, Vladimir.
Yeah, exactly.
As Brock said.
So it's beginning to pick up steam here. We've got quote unquote bipartisan Senate people out there that are now floating the idea of either putting this in front of an intelligence agency, the intelligence agencies, putting it in front of an intelligence committee that the Senate already has in place, or special investigation as to what's going on, which Mitch McConnell, I guess, has kind of poo-pooed and said, no, we're not going to do that. We'll just leave it over to the rhino hacks, McCain and Lindsey Graham and the rest of them, Durbin and all the rest of them. So now, all of a sudden, President Obama comes out and starts talking about the need to look at this situation and determine whether the Russians were behind this. He's been really kind of quiet about it for the most part up to this point in time, but there's a reason why he now wants it. All right? I'm looking at an article here from Josh Gernstein and Jennifer Skoltis over at Politico. Obama orders full review of election-related hacking. President Barack Obama has ordered a full review of hacking-relating activity aimed at disrupting last month's presidential election, and he expects that report before he leaves office on January 20th, a top White House official said Friday, who happened to be Lisa Monaco. And we talked about this briefly last week.
Yes.
Why would Obama need this report before he left office? I'll tell you why he needs it. To see if there's anything in there damaging to him. That's really, at this point, all he cares about. His legacy, his resume, his dreams to take over the UN, whatever it is he's got out there, he needs to know. He needs to know by the time he leaves office, what have you guys got that could damage me? Well, we have information that there is stuff that can damage Barack Obama directly because of this. But anyway, Monaco goes on to tell us that the report would be shared with a range of stakeholders.
Yeah, everybody except who, John?
Yeah, except the public.
Yes, thank you. The American voter, the American public.
All the operatives, all the establishment types, some members of Congress or members of Congress, but they will not. She goes on and says, but she did not commit to making the findings public. All right, so that means that all these operatives, all these people that are now sitting here ringing the gong and out here screaming and yelling, will have privy to any information if there is any information. But the American public won't get that information. And why is that? Because I bet you there isn't any. And so that would allow them to continue to play the allegation, innuendos, and accusations.
Yeah, keep playing the game.
Keep playing the game. Now, I'm going to read you the last paragraph of this because this is the catch-all of this. In the months leading up to the election, hackers reportedly linked to Russia. Reportedly. Not factually, reportedly, meaning it was reported, linked to Russia, directed digital attacks on the Democratic National Committee, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, and other political organizations. Okay? We know that they were hacked. They also, here's the narrative, my friends. This is what Obama wants to know. Because this is where it's leading. This is why Obama wants the investigation and a report before he leaves. Probably put away in a secret briefcase that nobody sees but him. They also breached the personal email accounts of Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign chairman, John Podesta, and several Democratic staffers, with many of those emails being released publicly by WikiLeaks, causing unwelcome pre-election tumult for the Clinton campaign. They're already assigning the email leaks on John Podesta to WikiLeaks. Russia is in step with WikiLeaks. Russia is in step with Trump. Therefore, Trump is in step with WikiLeaks. And it's all a big conspiracy to undermine and circumvent the Clinton campaign. That is where it is. Now, again, why does Obama worry about this? Well, we find out. Let's see here. Let me scroll down here. I'm going to skip over this one big article for a minute. We go down. Okay, top Senate. We already talked about that. And we already talked about the fake news here. I want to get down to the big one here. And let's see here. Where's it at here? Here we go. The conflict. National Review. Andrew McCarthy today. I'm sorry, September 26th. This is last year. All right? Andrew McCarthy, how is that not classified? He goes on to talk about the fact that we discovered through these email leaks and through the FBI investigation of Clinton's classified information breaches that there was a pseudonym assigned to Barack Obama.
Ding, ding, ding.
And he conversed with Hillary Clinton on her private server, unsecured private server. And the reason why the FBI did not recommend indictment was because it would have come to light. The Justice Department would have had to bring to the public eye the fact that Barack Obama had been conversing with Hillary Clinton on a private, unsecured server.
After he said he found out about it, just like everybody else.
Right, exactly. News. So that would have done what? It would have dropped his popularity rating, his approval rating, which he's actually gotten because he's not doing anything. All right, his approval rating, the less he does, the more his approval rating rises. But the point being is that I think it was over 20, I can't remember the number, 24, 26 different email conversations with his pseudonym. And it was revealed that the FBI found this out. And Huma Abedin is the one that brought it to everybody's attention. Why was this not classified when she found out that Barack Obama had been communicating with a pseudonym to Hillary Clinton on an unsecured server? She wanted to know, how is this not classified? Huma Abedin caught it. She knew something was going on. And the FBI did nothing about it. The FBI, James Comey protected Barack Obama. And you say, well, why would he do that? If it's an apolitical organization, right? That's what we're told.
FBI? Sure it is.
Sure it is. But Comey was appointed by Barack Obama. People don't know that. I think they think he was kind of like a leftover from the Bush administration. No, he was appointed by Barack Obama.
But we reported on the pseudonym thing way back before the election and everything. We were telling people, hey, Obama's lying to you. So maybe the reason why Obama didn't want this to come out was maybe this would have been taken over you. If you like your plan, you can keep your plan. That might have been the biggest lie instead of that.
Yeah. Now, here's one thing. I'll get this one other fact here before we go to our quick break here. Abedin was sufficiently stunned. I'm reading from the article here from Andrew McCarthy. That for just a moment, the bottomless capacity of Clinton insiders to keep cool in a scandal was overcome. How is this not classified? She recovered quickly enough, though. The FBI records say that the next thing Abedin did was express her amazement at the president's use of a pseudonym, and she asked if she could have a copy of the email. Now, why would that be? Abedin knew an insurance policy when she saw one. Yep. If Obama himself had been emailing over a non-government, non-secure system, then everyone else who had been doing it had a get-off-jail-free card. Thanks to Friday's FBI document dump, which was back in September, 189 more pages of reports from the Bureau's year-long foray investigation into the Clinton email scandal, we now know for certain what Andrew McCarthy was saying 8 months ago. Any possibility of prosecuting Hillary Clinton was tanked by President Obama's conflict of interest.
Absolutely.
So Hillary wasn't indicted not because Hillary wasn't guilty. James Comey made it very apparent and laid out very well what she should have been indicted for. But he wanted to protect his boss's ass. That's really what it comes down to. And that's why she got a free pass.
It ain't over yet.
And I that is why, in my opinion, Donald Trump should lock her up.
It ain't over yet, and we'll have to see what happens in the next till January 20th. Obama can still pull something out of his hat with this.
Yeah,
but it's not over yet.
Yeah, so I'm adding all these elements together here because people...
General Sessions, call in Attorney General Sessions.
Yeah, well, you've got to know where this thing is going. We're just in the preliminary phase of this as to what they're doing here. And again, the end game, keep this in your head. The end game is to circumvent the entire election process and put us into the throes of a full-blown democracy, everything by popular vote, ruled by the mob. That's where this is going, as sure as I'm sitting here. We got to go to break. We'll be right back.
There is an old saying, children should be seen but not heard. At no time is this more apparent than when politicians speak. The Conservative Syndicate.net, the adults in the room. Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did. History affirms a vibrant civil society thrives on freedom of conscience, religion, and choice. Any society absent these qualities stifles individual responsibility and accountability, thus enslaving its people by denying them their potential for goodness, creativity, and altruism. To that extent, oppression, coercion, and totalitarianism are multiplied exponentially. To counter such outcomes, the American Freedom Alliance was formed. The AFA is a nonpartisan, non-aligned movement which promotes, defends, and upholds Western values and ideals. The Alliance strives to build an international coalition of citizens of the West who together promote and protect moral values, democracy, and freedom. To find out more and become part of this valuable asset in the preservation of freedom and all its rewards, contact us at AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. That's AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. Let freedom ring.
Don't get your panties all in a bunch.
The Conservative Syndicate.net.
Exposing weapons of mass distraction.
All right, hey, we're back. And you are listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I want to highlight here one more little comment that was made in this article we're covering here. Andrew McCarthy wrote back in September of this year about the idea or the revelation or the understanding that the reason Hillary Clinton was not indicted by FBI Director James Comey, or at least indictment recommended by Comey, was because Barack Obama would have been exposed as also having participated with communications under a pseudonym and would have been just as guilty as Hillary Clinton for using an unsecured server to discuss matters. Now, we don't know. I looked in the article. It was 22 communications. I knew it was over 20. 22 communications that Obama had exchanged with Secretary Clinton on the private email account. And what that does is that not only was Obama knowledgeable of Hillary using the email server, but he was a participant, which puts everything in a whole completely different light.
He was breaking the law.
He was breaking the law. Charges would have been valid for impeachment hearings, although, so late in the game, that probably never would have come about.
In a time of history past, there might have been treason charges brought up against the man.
Yeah. So he goes on to say, I want to just end this particular article with this comment here. Obama's recklessness, McCarthy says, at least as far as we know, was confined to communications with Clinton. Although the revelation that the man presiding over the most transparent administration in history set up a pseudonym to conceal his communications obviously suggests that his recklessness may have been more widespread. If we're going to go with innuendo and allegations and accusations, can we not do that with Obama?
Yeah, if we're going to say the Russians were hacking everything, well, gee. And you know what? The same people that are saying the Russians were hacking, these security agencies, they're saying the Russians hacked these emails. Guess what they also said? They said that it's quite obvious that Hillary Clinton's email server was hacked.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's what Comey said. We don't have any evidence, but we have every reason to believe that hostile forces, hostile agents out there could have accessed her stuff. She was, I think he even pointed out to the fact she was over in Russia in a very unsecure area doing this stuff.
So, we dodged a bullet, and now you find another reason for all this hup about the Electoral College and trying to delegitimize Donald Trump's campaign and his presidency before it ever gets started. One of the things is they want to keep your eye off of this ball here because if they don't, this is going to come back to bite them. This is not over.
No, but they want to misdirect. They want to misdirect where the facts would take them and try to put it in a different place, in somebody else's camp, somebody else's problem, Donald Trump's. That's where they want to go. Now, I'm going to read you this last paragraph here that was right after what I just read here. Huh? Still, Andrew McCarthy says, the difference in scale is not a difference in kind. In terms of the federal laws that criminalize mishandling of classified information, Obama not only engaged in the same type of misconduct Clinton did, he engaged in it with Clinton. It would not have been possible for the Justice Department to prosecute Clinton for her offense without it becoming painfully apparent that 1, Obama, 2, had done everything necessary to commit a violation of federal law, and 2, the communications between Obama and Clinton were highly relevant evidence. Obama not only engaged in the same type of misconduct Clinton did, he engaged in it with Clinton.
Yep.
Okay? Indeed. Yep. Imagine what would have happened had Clinton been indicted. The White House would have attempted to maintain the secrecy of the Obama-Clinton emails under Obama's invocation of a bogus presidential communication privilege, executive privilege.
Nixon was impeached for much less.
Yeah. Okay. So, and they say had he used the executive privilege, he would have sounded Nixonian. Okay. So that would have been another problem. Okay. Yep. So now we know. Now we know why it's so apparent. Even more so than trying to discredit or delegitimize Trump, it's also to protect Barack Obama, not to protect Hillary Clinton. I don't think anybody gives a rat's ass about what happens to Hillary Clinton.
We said that before. Obama doesn't like Hillary Clinton. We already knew that. Why was he doing it before? It was because he was as guilty as she was.
What it comes down to is what steps have to be taken to protect his quote-unquote legacy.
Yep.
What has to be done to protect him so that he can continue to go out and pollute the world with his ideology?
So the ultimate plan failed when we did not elect Hillary Clinton as president.
I can guarantee you tomorrow, if Barack Obama could save his legacy by having Hillary Clinton put in an orange jumpsuit that wasn't designed by Armani, then I can guarantee you he'd do it. In a heartbeat.
Deal. That'd be part of the deal. If I get it designed by Armani, Hillary, will you accept it?
Yeah. All right, guys. We're coming up on the end of the show here, and I just, it's a lot. We gave you a lot of information today, and I hope you have time to digest it. If not, just go ahead and go out to our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, and you can pick the show up and listen to it again. Share it with all those deniers out there that still believe that Donald Trump should never have won the election. I'm sorry. You lost, and you lost big, and you lost for a reason, all right? And a lot of it has to do with your ignorance. So, one thing I want to talk about tomorrow, I'm going to close up here in just a moment here. There is, I'll mention it tomorrow. I'll go more into depth tomorrow with it. There is a new ethnicity column or demographic that's being created right now, and we'll talk about this tomorrow. It's called the Menya. Okay, the Menya. The Menya is anybody, I guess it doesn't fall into any other category. It includes people from the Middle East, Berbers, Arabs, Israelis, Persians, Muslims. That's really what they're doing. They're trying to create their own demographic.
Business.
Yeah, and I'll explain that to you why tomorrow. It's amazing. The thinking behind this, these guys are shrewd. They are so shrewd in their planning. It's just too, they put so much energy in lying and cheating. If they just put that same energy into telling the truth and doing the right thing, this would be a lot better place to live in.
Evil.
All right. Okay, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. We love you. Thank you for visiting us today. Check out our website, theconservativesyndicate.net. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Conservative Syndicate, the nationally acclaimed, globally syndicated, politically incorrect talk show that seeks to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state. We want to make you aware you can find and access all our show archives at our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, as well as our broadcast stations and times. That's theconservativesyndicate.net. We so appreciate you taking the time to tune in, and we so look forward to continuing to bring you the best in uncompromised talk radio available on the net today. And remember, folks, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down in life. It only matters how many times you get up. I'm John Matthews, along with Joe Hako, signing off until next time right here at the Conservative Syndicate. God bless you, and may God continue to bless America.